Hi everyone, Gig Coach Jake here, your go-to for gig economy news, tips, and tricks. And today I have big news. DoorDash has finally released a pay model update to a subset of Dashers, but all of you will see it soon, by the end of September. And I know some of you are saying, that sucks. I haven't seen it yet. This is BS. I don't have it yet either. So don't worry. Only 2 weeks. Keep doing what you're doing to be successful. Maximize your earnings in the meantime. And at least you have something to look forward to. The experience will be the same. A couple different things. The biggest, you will see an increase from $2 to $10 plus. Some are saying, $2, that's crap. Before you fixate on that $2, that is a 100% increase from what you've been receiving for 2 years plus. That's big. That's a step in the right direction. The next thing is they're paying at least $1 per mile or more on a lot of these offers. I'll show a series of screenshots here as I discuss this that actually back that. I did a video previously on this and I shared all my findings. In the title and the thumbnail, it's very clear that it was the test model that they were going to release. Now that they've released it, everything I've seen in the last few days is exactly what I showed before. What they're showing in the pay breakdown was DoorDash additional earnings for the test portion. People thought because there was still the $1 that it was not new. That was just how they had it when they were using the test. Now they have it all grouped together. It's one DoorDash base pay. It's pretty clear. The only thing we're not transparent on is what they're paying per mileage and per time. In all reality, it doesn't matter as long as we're making enough per mile and enough for time. Everything I'm seeing, we definitely are. The Dashers I've spoken to, they're making on average $10 per delivery with this new model. Let that sink in. $10 per delivery. If you do $20, 20 deliveries a day, that's $200. If you do 20 deliveries a day, that's $200 per day. That's big deal. What else is changing? The tip. And the way they tip. Customers will now have the option to tip before or after. Some of you be seeing these $2 offers. That is their minimum, and the customer probably did not tip. These are also tests. Just know that they are testing now. They will continue to test till the end of this month and beyond. They will always be testing and using your actions for future changes. Keep that in mind. So the more terrible choices you make, that's data they're provided that tells them they can keep on doing that. So if you're accepting $2 offers, $3, $4, $5, I don't care if they're stacked, you're allowing them to keep paying us less. Just keep that in mind. Now on the tip screen, what you'll see at the end, the only difference, like I show here, is that the customer tips 0. A lot of times we'll be like, crap, that sucks. Customer has up to 30 days to put a tip in. Anyone that did Postmates or is doing it currently, you know exactly how that goes. At least they're putting a 30-day cap. But what sucks is that 30 days, there's no longer that option to tip on. At least with Postmates, they can still tip whenever they go back on the app. That means it's going to be very important that you send some type of text before you close out the order and the delivery to prompt them back to the app to rate you. Do not use tip in there. Be creative. Use something short and sweet to get them to go rate you, which should prompt them to actually do the tip. I attempted to do a test on this myself earlier today. Unfortunately, in my app, customer app, even the updated version, it did not have this option. What I would love is for some of you that do have the option, that do order DoorDash, go in, if you can screen share or take a bunch of screenshots throughout the process, gigcoachjake@gmail.com, send me an email. Also, in my Patreon group, in the discourse group, link above, we're discussing all these changes from DoorDash, Uber Eats, and GrubHub, and talk about strategies on how to win no matter what. We're having weekly group discussions via live video chat. It's a great resource, no obligation. Definitely want to check it out if you're looking for more help on how to succeed. Back to the changes here. What else with the tip that's a big deal? Some offers are going to be lower. You have to use previous experience and patterns on merchants and pickups where you knew there was a tip that paid out pretty well. It's almost reverse engineering from what we used to see before. When you received a very large offer, whether you got paid out in the beginning or at the end, as far as the guarantee, say that was a $6 guarantee and you got paid $22 in the end there because it was a very big bill. You could still go in and see how many items and what the total is to help make decisions. Don't forget about the tools that you have, the resources. Now, when you see that $2 offer, before you reject, you have the option to go and see what that bill total is. And if it's a previous place that you picked up before and you remember, oh, that customer tip's really good. Like I have a ton of them in my market that I know of. As soon as that offer comes in, the pick up, the drop off, I already know before even seeing the name or any of that information. Those of you that have been doing this long enough and do a lot of deliveries, you should have the same log of information. That's why I always talk about tracking so many things as simple as possible, but to have a really good idea to make decisions going forward. Back to that reverse engineer. I know I ran off on a tangent a little bit. What happened when you received a really big tip? You got $1 on that base pay, correct? Now it's a $2 base pay. So what they're doing is they're sending that offer ahead of time. And whether you're going to get that big tip or not, I don't know. This is where we have to be, again, a little bit creative. Be very smart about our decisions. Hashtag work smarter, right? And then weigh the risk and reward. If it's close, it's not going to take you very long. It might be worth the risk to see what the reward is. If it's a very far drop off or far pickup, don't even bother unless you're 90% or more sure. The next thing, you should be avoiding stacked offers. Again, I'm going to show a series of screenshots here of what I'm seeing now. They're sending as low as that $2, $4.75, $5 back to the old model. What they're going to do is continue to send as many stacked offers as possible. That way they can pay you out less. Be smart. If it's busy enough, you should be able to reject these, make that drop off, and still be able to see a bigger payout. Why? Because all the stacked offers you're receiving were of the lower and the older pay model. We don't want that. The more you reject these, the more they're forced to increase the pay. So back to that algorithm and their $2 to $10 plus. If we aren't willing to pick up, they're not going to keep sending them that low. So just remember, your actions are going to affect what the future looks like. Now, I've been trying to educate all of you for almost 2 years now on working smarter. It's up to you to work as a true independent contractor and make the best decisions. Now, I have some more on the changes here that they've added as well. But before I get into that, I want to talk about another way you can increase your tips. Now that customers have the option to tip after, customer service matters. Those of you that aren't using bags, guess what? You're at a higher risk of lower tips and income and earnings now. Those that do poor customer service and just want to be lazy, you don't want to take the customer the food, guess what? You're not only going to take a ding on your rating, but to your pocket as well. You're going to make less money. For those of you who do a great job, that do go out of your way, make sure that you give outstanding customer service, always using your bags. You have nothing to worry about. Your earnings should go up even higher than the average dasher based on that alone. Those of you kind of on the board and you're thinking, I was put in the bare minimum because DoorDash paid me crap before. I totally get it. Makes sense. Now you have incentive to give quality customer service and be better than average. I can tell you from personal experience, being better than average does increase your earnings and potential within this industry. Now let's talk about the other changes they made. The promos, peak pay will stay the same. And what we're seeing is no requirements in a lot of the peak pay. Just know that when your market's very saturated with dashers, there's going to be minimal peak pay to be had. It's a great indicator of how saturated your market is or not, but could also be an indicator of just being very busy. If your market's incredibly busy for a period of time, that could be another reason for promos. So think about patterns and things that may be happening in your market that it can increase demand beyond the amount of drivers that they have. That will then bring promos like the peak pay that we can take advantage of. Without having those requirements of an acceptance rating of 80 or 85% or 2+, we can now effectively work as true independent contractors, reject or accept the offers that make sense for us, and still receive that extra pay bump. You will also have an opportunity for the challenges that you see above. Those are around like $20. When I've seen them test before, and again, they're still testing these right now, it's not a big pay bump. Stick to your normal habits. Work smarter. If you happen to hit these, in addition, that's just an extra pay bump, like say $20 or whatever it may be. Do not go out of your way. You can make this in addition to your peak pay as well. Say they're running a peak pay and a challenge. Those deliveries will count towards both. In the promo section, it'll show up just like peak pay. You'll see the opportunity for the challenges. I'm sure there'll also be notifications within the app, and you'll be able to go and see within that promos link exactly when and where. Again, they're still testing this in the pilot version and will be coming soon. Not everybody will have it at first. Once you've completed it, you will see that you've received the promo, the challenge, the $20 or whatever it may be. Should be no guessing. They went to the courtesy of providing us some links to provide feedback. In the description below, I'll have links for both of these surveys. One regarding any technical issues, and one, like you see here, regarding the pay model with some feedback. There's 8 questions on there you can answer. Feel free to hop on there and give your feedback before and after you give it a run. Just know that you'll be making a minimum of $2 on base pay on upwards to $10 plus. Whether it's going to be a tip before or after, you should know by the amount on the incoming offer. Use some judgment, take some notes, and within 2 to 4 weeks, you should have a really good idea of which offers to avoid, which ones you want to jump on, and how to really increase your earnings. And again, like I said before, I have a group, my Patreon group, links up there, as well as the discourse group, the networking group, where we're all working together on strategies and ways to continue to succeed with all these changes that keep coming. Hope you all have a great day. Be safe out there. Enjoy this great thing and stop focusing and dwelling on the fact that it's only $2 or all the little things. Focus on the positive, capitalize, run with it. # work smarter and low pay, no way.